Hi everybody, it's Todd here, and I've got the 2016 Summer Campaign launch video for you. If you haven't seen one of these videos before, I'm going to give you a rundown on the core elements of the campaign so that you can understand what to expect, how things will work, and to try and set your center up to get the best success. I'll cover things like key training dates and training information, key campaign elements, and also campaign results from previous years, so you can use that for goal setting and those kinds of things. This information shouldn't be new information to most of you. The campaign has been shared as we've developed it over the last few weeks. We've given you detailed information at strategy meetings, region meetings, that kind of thing. But this gives you a full summary of everything to date, and hopefully will help you to set up your campaign and your center for best success in 2016. This is a crucial time of year for us in terms of acquisition. It's our last big acquisition period before the winter starts to kick in. So getting best results is really, really important to each of your centers and to your communities. So without further ado, I'm going to jump into the overall timeline so that you can get an overhead view of the main elements of the campaign here. You can see it runs from December right through the end of February, so this is a long campaign period. We've broken it into phases to try and make it a little bit more manageable. And then most of you will see that there are some similarities to previous years. So I'm going to run through the key elements of the campaign, and then I'm going to go through each of those elements in more detail. So you can see we're sending out the campaign launch video in late December before we jump into the micro campaign, which is something we've been running for the last couple of years, and that runs for 6 days through the start of January. We've got phase 2, which is the lead generator activity. You would have seen these before as well. Often we'll run a lead generation activity and then a more conventional campaign right on the back of the lead generator to try and close out as many of those leads as possible. Our phase 2 lead generator runs from the 11th through to the 20th of January. Then we've got a bit of a breather before we jump into phase 3, which is the main part of the conventional campaign. This is the campaign that you're most familiar with. Runs for 3 weeks. With the option to extend, which I'll discuss a little bit more in a moment. At phase 3, hopefully you will have generated a whole bunch of leads and gathered data in phase 2, and you'll be able to close out many of those. So they're the main components for the campaign. There's a couple of training dates you'll see in there. We're doing a new thing, which is a flip webinar on January 11th. This will be an online training session that Liam runs on February 11th, and I'll talk about that more in a moment. And then we've got our campaign training session on January 19th. So where we get everybody together face-to-face, where we do those big workshops and try and unpack the campaign and set ourselves up for the best success at a local level. You can learn from each other, steal each other's ideas, which has been really successful in the past. I'll talk about that a little bit more later as well. But they're the main elements of the campaign. Phase 1. Okay, so this is the micro campaign. Most of you would have seen this before. Usually it's a 5-day micro. This year it's a 6-day micro. We're just trying to do something a little bit different, starting it from December 31. This is the most simple campaign you're ever likely to see. It's premised on the idea that people are in the market making a New Year's resolution and they're ready to join a gym membership, and they're the people we're targeting. We're just putting a really simple offer in front of them. At this time of year, keeping it really simple is also so important for you guys to be able to execute it at a local level effectively. So it's really lightweight. We set everything up. It's using digital-only channels, as I said, from December 31 to January 5. A really simple offer that doesn't require any additional training or anything special at frontline, doesn't affect your admin processes, nothing like that. $1 startup fee. Really simple, as I said, to convert those people who are ready to join, basically. The call to action really is just to walk in the door. So let me show you some of we've got some of the mocks, the mocked up artwork from the agency. This isn't the final version, but I want to show you what it looks like so far. As you can see, this is the Facebook advertising and your cover image as well. All of our ad spend is on Facebook. This is, like, as I said, a digital-only campaign, really simple. This is what it'll look like, and you'll notice both on the website and through the Facebook page copy, we really are just asking people to walk in the door. There's no time to be capturing their details and following them up later. It's only a short period of time, and it's all about the urgency. We want them to walk in the door or to call the center and to act really fast. We don't extend this offer. It strictly finishes on January 5th. I just want to give you a bit of a quick idea of some of the results we've got in years past and the year-on-year results, so you can see just how important this campaign is. In 2013, we did not run a micro campaign. We didn't have anything special in the market at that point, and in every year previous, this had not been done. The idea of running a micro campaign, a New Year's micro campaign, was completely unheard of. So in 2013, we sold 129 memberships across the region. You'll see I've left Brunswick Baths out there for now just because they had some closures through over this period. I didn't want to throw out the results. 129 memberships over 5 days, not too shabby at all. Come 2014, when we ran the micro campaign, we had more than double the number of memberships that we sold, up by 114%, 277 memberships sold through that period. Some really exciting results through there. Some centres tripled. You can see SA Aquatic did more than triple the number of memberships over that 5-day period. Huge result in 2014. And we came back again and did it this year in 2015. And we did even better again. We went 129% improvement on the 2014 results. Or think about it, from 2013 when we didn't run the micro campaign, we sold 129 memberships. We sold 360 memberships 2 years later. It's a very, very successful campaign. I've excluded Brunswick Baths there. We can throw them into the mix, and again, it will be even higher. We expect to get really exciting results this year. I don't expect to, again, double last year's result or this year's result, but I would hope that we can get somewhere near that 450 mark in total memberships sold. And if you think about 2 years ago, that was about 129. That's a pretty big deal. So it's a really exciting campaign and can do huge things for your centre. And it's really simple and lightweight, which we know you guys love. Just to give you some idea of the numbers, last year, 5-day campaign, we spent $2,110 on advertising, and we generated $108,000 in new revenue across the region. So that's memberships revenue that we otherwise would not have made. It's a really successful campaign. It's so important that it does well. It's easy to do it well. You just got to have everybody ready and aware of the offer, and to really capitalize on the urgency that really short campaign creates. So we're looking forward to some really exciting results again for 2016 for this micro campaign. It's a really important phase. Gets you off to a really strong start right at the start of the calendar year, which is always nice. And you'll have a short breather, and we'll go into phase 2. Phase 2 is a lead generator campaign. You've seen some of these before, where we'll do a little short lead generator and try and capture all that data, and then that you've got this great pool of prospects before your phase 3 campaign hits. So that really is the intention with this one. But there's another intention as well, and we want to improve the way our region handles online leads. We did some mystery shopping and looked at some of the data and drove some insights out of the spring campaign. And what we found was that, at best, online leads that go through our centres get responded to within about 1 to 2 days. Most centres weren't responding at all, or it was days and days later. In contrast to that, we mystery shopped a bunch of our competitors, including Good Life and Recreation and Fernwood, I think, and all of those, when we submitted an online lead, responded with a sales call within 2 hours. And that's the space we need to play at if we want to be competitive. So phase 2 is about generating leads, but it's also a huge opportunity for us to improve the way we deal with online leads at our local centres. And we really want to make sure that we're doing that really well. So make sure it's resourced, make sure you know where those leads are. This is basically a 7-day pass. You've already got that on your website. We're using that existing system, so you should understand and be familiar with it. We're taking those 7-day passes and we're plugging a whole bunch of advertising strategy into them to increase the volume of leads coming through. So we'll generate a bunch of leads, but hopefully you can really improve the way you handle the leads at your centre as well. It's a great opportunity to improve that part of the business on an ongoing basis. What we really want you to focus on with these leads is to service them as best as you can, to give them really fantastic service, to make sure they understand the benefits of being at our facilities, that we're a full service facility, that we've got a lot of those offerings that your small 24/7s don't have, and to make sure they get a really great experience. We want that to be your primary objective. Of course, local offers, those first visit offers, those flip offers will be important and will be part of what you do, but we really do want you to focus on giving them a great experience regardless. What the actual incentive is for them to join on their first visit, what that flip offer is for you to determine as a team. It's for you to work with your centre managers and understand what you want to put in front of them. We know the simple stuff works best, but yeah, this is one of those situations where we want to be able to give local centres the autonomy to be able to tailor their offer to what's most effective and most appropriate for your centre and your community. So make sure you have that conversation with your manager and to know what your flip offer is going to be for your team in that phase 2 period. Phase 3 is a much more conventional campaign. These are the ones that you're most familiar with. While phase 1 and 2 are very much focused on digital channels, phase 3 has a combination of online and offline. Some of you will be happy to note we're looking at campaign t-shirts again this year, which we haven't done for a little while. So you're going to see some of those traditional channels come into play, including print, X banners, decals, those kinds of things. It runs from the 8th to the 29th of February, which is a 3-week campaign. And it also relies on you guys to be able to decide on what your local offer is. So it's going to be membership specials as the leading line. It's not going to be a price-led campaign. This is what we did in spring with some really good results. And again, it allows you to determine what your local offer is so that you're tailoring the campaign, you're owning the campaign locally. You can choose to do what's going to be most effective and what's best for your center and your community. There will be the option to extend to the 4th week. So we do run 3-week campaigns these days. They're a little bit shorter and sharper and punchier, and we think they drive more urgency. Also, it's really important at a time like this when, as we said at the front, it's an 8-week period where we'll be running a bunch of different elements of the broader campaign. Campaign fatigue does become an element. So it's a 3-week campaign, but there will be the option to extend to the 4th week. We expect you'll be having that conversation with your managers and your staff, your senior leadership teams late in phase 3 to decide whether you want to extend to 4 weeks or not. So that's the 3 phases of the campaign. I want to talk about the Flip webinar really quickly. This is something we haven't really done before. This is a new thing that we're introducing. We know that those flips and those first visit incentives are really important. Liam will be hosting a training session on January the 11th, and he'll be covering the best practice method for flipping these trial passes. He'll send invitations directly to the key staff, and you can forward those on to whoever else you would like to attend. You'll be obviously dialing into the link or the Skype system that we have at your local centre, so you can have as many people gathered around laptops as you need to. We're hoping to have at least 2 staff per centre. And we're really encouraging centre managers. Your leadership in this area is really valuable and has a big impact on results. So we're encouraging centre managers to attend if they can as well. That Flip seminar runs on the 11th. Liam will send out invitations. The campaign workshop, which is the face-to-face get-together that have been really great in previous years. Obviously, this time of year, it doesn't really make much sense, and it hasn't been very effective to run a get-together, a face-to-face get-together before Christmas, because everyone goes away and we sort of lose momentum on those things. So the campaign workshop is being run on January 19th. And that's where everyone will come together. We'll workshop different ideas. For those of you who have been to them before, what you can learn from one another is the most valuable thing, and they tend to be really great workshops. We'll be reviewing your micro campaign results. We'll be looking at flip strategies in phase 2, which ones worked, which ones didn't, so we can optimize those strategies for impending phase 3 launch. And really gearing up for the main phase of the campaign and getting prepared for that crucial period through February there. It's a campaign workshop. We'll be in touch with invitations about those from January 4th. But as we said, January 19, and we'll hopefully be seeing at least 2 to 3 people from each centre attending the campaign workshop. In closing, there's a couple of critical success factors that are really worth just underlying every single year. We continually see that these things are these are the difference between success and mediocrity. Those local lead generation strategies are huge. Those centres who take the campaign resources, get outside the 4 walls, and actively pursue generating leads for the campaigns are the ones that do the best. If you're taking an approach of letting the campaign materials do the work for you and just hoping people come into the centre, it will end up in poor results for your centre. So make sure you take those lead generation strategies and balls in your court to use them as effectively as you can. And also centre-wide buy-in and staff buy-in and engagement is so important. You've seen a lot of different strategies that you can use to achieve those, and we'll be covering some of them at the workshop before stage 3. But making sure you're getting buy-in from not just the frontline team, but your duty managers, your admin and your senior staff are crucial. Also your health club staff and everybody on pool deck and all those other areas of your facility, whether you've got gymnastics or whatever you have. Getting centre-wide buy-in to this campaign is crucial. As I said, it's a massive investment for this time of year. It's our last chance before winter starts to hit to really do well. It's a crucial buying time. So make sure you do the things you need to do. put the resources in place to perform really well and get everybody on board and behind the campaign. If you've got any questions, this is where you find us. You guys know where to find us. Any questions you might have, feel free to let us know. We've also got a more detailed campaign manual coming out, of course, a more detailed campaign brief, which has those more granular elements in there if you're so inclined. So lots of that other nitty-gritty to follow, but hopefully this gave you a really clear overview of the campaign and what we need to do to be really successful in the new year. Good luck, have a great Christmas, and we'll be in touch.